Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Marley. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be fan casting some of my favorite books and some of my most recent reads. This isn't exactly like a unique new idea. A lot of people have been fan casting books for years, but I haven't really seen anyone that I'm subscribed to upload a video like this recently. And I was inspired because in my personal book club that I have with some friends, we have been fan casting each of the books that we read when we do like our book club meeting. So it just made me think like I kind of want to like fan cast some of my recent reads that I've had, and then one night when I couldn't sleep I just made this whole document. So I'm just gonna share them with you. Let me know your thoughts if you agree with these fan cast choices or if I just completely missed the mark with them. I also just want to know, a lot of my fan casting is based off the TV shows that I watch. Because I watch a lot of TV, I don't watch as many movies, so you might notice that like they're all TV actors or like they're from the same shows. Sorry about that. That's just what I could think of. So the first one we're gonna do is the Selection series by Kiera. I only casted 3 characters in this because like I'm not gonna do the entire book for all of these books. I'm just gonna do like a few of the main characters. So first of all, there is America, our main lead character. She is known to be a redhead and kind of not like other girls. Like she's not as into all of like the beauty and the dresses and the fame. She's just not as into that, and her and Maxon have a bit of a unique relationship because of that, her and Prince Maxon. So one of the options I was thinking of for America was Sadie Sink, who is from Stranger Things. And I know you might be thinking she's a little young, but I think the actress is actually now 19, which is like a perfect age to be playing a teenager. She does look a little young, but I feel like she's a good option if you want to have that authentic, like these are teenagers sort of thing. She obviously has the classic red hair. I feel like she's played kind of like a tomboyish role in some of the roles I've seen her in. So I feel like she could have that like sass, could kind of be not like other girls, you know. But then if we want to go for like an older option, I was thinking Abigail Cowan, who is from The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and also the Winx saga on Netflix. She is a little bit older, also redhead, also beautiful, and I feel like she could also do a good job with America if we were going for like an older casting. Then as for Prince Maxon, I feel like there's a lot of options you could have. I feel like Prince Maxon should just be like handsome and pretty like nice. So the one that I was thinking of if we were going for like a younger cast is Joshua Bassett from High School Musical, the musical. This series is what I know him from. I feel like he looks very cute, very like nice to be a prince. And then the other character I was thinking of was Aspen, which is like the third point in the love triangle in this series. And for this, the only one that I could think of was Freddie Thorpe from the Winx saga. He's more rugged, he's more like dark and mysterious, which just kind of fits Aspen. More like tough looking, as he ends up being like a guard at the castle. But Freddie would be like more for the older casting because I think that actor is like a little bit too old, but I just think he had that like kind of gruffness to him, you know. Then we have Shipped / the Unhoneymooners / like kind of those typical popular romance novels, because I feel like the girl and the guy in those situations are pretty similar. Like the characters in Shipped are sort of similar to the ones in the Unhoneymooners. But if we say we're going with the Unhoneymooners, which is my favorite of the two, then we are going to be casting Olive and Ethan. So what I am thinking for this is that the girl Olive could be Nina Dobrev, and then the guy could be Dylan O'Brien. Basically, I just really want to see these two actors that I love be in some sort of rom-com together. I feel like it would be super cute. I feel like Dylan has been taking all these like action roles and stuff, but I really like seeing him in like a romantic role. And then Nina Dobrev, I could just obviously see as like the main heroine. And because she has been in like a love-hate relationship in the Vampire Diaries as Elena with Damon, I feel like she could really pull off that sort of love-hate situation in a rom-com as well. And then I fan casted a few of the characters in the Last Hour series. First of all, I was thinking about Lucy Herondale, And for her, I was picturing Millie Bobby Brown. She's British, she's young and fun. If you've only seen her in Stranger Things as Elle, you maybe wouldn't think it's a great match because Elle is very different from Lucy. But if you saw her in Enola Holmes, where she played this more like outgoing character, young, imaginative, I just feel like that character really reminded me of Lucy and has that like youthful like optimism. And then I was thinking Asa Butterfield for James, another like British actor I know. Asa has like the dark hair. But yeah, I feel like Asa Butterfield has like main character guy vibes, so I feel like he could play James easily. Then for Matthew, my favorite character, I went with Danny Griffin, who I know from, again, the Winx saga. I'm pulling a lot of casting choices from there, but he looks like blonde, hot. He's still like relatively young. He can play a teen, and that's just how I picture Matthew. Like I picture Matthew to look very similar to Jace, and Griffin is very similar to how I pictured Jace to look. So that's why I think he's a good fit. And then lastly, there's Cordelia Carstairs, and I didn't really know a lot of like Iranian or Persian actresses, so this is the one I actually had to look up. I didn't look up any other casting to like get inspiration from this other than this one, and I found this girl named Medallion Rahimi, and she's like an Iranian actress, and I thought she looked the part, very beautiful, probably could play Cordelia pretty well. Okay, then we have One to Watch by Kate Stayman-London, which is the book that actually inspired this video as I fan casted it with my friends during our book club. So first of all is B. She is a plus-sized influencer, and for this I went with Emma Hunton. She is from the show Good Trouble, and in that show she actually plays a plus-sized influencer, so that's why my mind immediately went to her. She's not that plus size, so like you could probably get an actress that maybe was a little bit bigger, but I just immediately went to her because I pictured B blonde for some reason. I don't know if she really was blonde, I can't recall, or if I don't even think they mentioned it, but I just immediately went to her. Then for Luke, which was kind of like the sexy French guy that really like seduces her, I went with Justin Baldoni, which you would know him as Raphael from Jane the Virgin, especially in this picture that I'm gonna put up of like him with like the longer hair. I just feel like he looks very like he's gonna seduce you, and like just gives me those vibes of Luke just being so like sexual and like touchy and all of that sort of stuff. Then for Sam, I went with Rome Flynn, who I know from How to Get Away with Murder. Sam is like a young African-American guy, doesn't really know like what he's doing, but I think he's supposed to be very like attractive and like happy is how I picture him. So I feel like Rome really fits that. He's like very handsome. In this picture he looks very, you know, happy and young and like beginning of his life. So yeah, that's what I was thinking for Sam. Then for Asher, I went with Henry Golding. Not too much of a unique option. I feel like Henry Golding is like the go-to like Asian leading man right now. He was in Crazy Rich Asians, and he's been in like some other films. He's really killing it. So I feel like he would be a great option for Asher, and he just looks so like nice. Like you could definitely see him being a dad like Asher is. I think he's also a professor as well. Like I could see him in a nice suit teaching a class. Like definitely could be Asher. Okay, then I casted Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. So for Dani Brown, I went with Nefessa Williams, and I know her from Black Lightning. I just think she is so stunning, and I also really just think she could pull off the whole like really short hair, bald look that Dani has going on. She's also very tough in the show that I know her from, so I feel like she could really play Dani well and have that like that sass again, that girl power energy, and then she's also super beautiful. As for Zafir, I was picturing Rahul Kohli. I know him from a couple different shows, but one of them would be Bly Manor. I feel like he looks like he could be pretty tough, like kind of burly guy that could be a security guard as Zafir is, and like an athlete, but then also he looks very like nice, like he wouldn't harm you, like kind of like a big teddy bear kind of thing, which is what Zafir gives off. So that's why this was the cast I was thinking for this book. Then I decided to cast a pretty recent book that I read, which was Malibu Rising, and I decided to cast for the 4 siblings only. So for Nina, I had a couple different options because I had a certain look in mind. Honestly, Nina Dobrev actually. Nina Dobrev. we could go with her as well. But I had a certain look in mind, which was very like tanned and beautiful. And so one of the options I was thinking for this one is Maya Mitchell, again from Good Trouble and The Fosters. I just think she's really beautiful. I'm used to seeing her in that like older sister role of like a big family, so that kind of goes with Nina as well. I think she even did like a beachy movie, so she could also fit the whole like beach surfer vibe. Another actress I was thinking was Shelley Henning, which she looks very similar to Maya, so you can see kind of what I was picturing, but she also has that like tan, like olive skin, very beautiful. Definitely could have that like surfer model body as well, so that's what I was thinking for Nina. Then for Jay, I'm not super sold on this one, but I was thinking Joe Keery from Stranger Things, mainly for like the flowy hair and kind of like I feel like he could bring some maybe like comedic energy to the role. I don't know, I kind of was struggling with Jay. Maybe Joe doesn't look like athletic enough to be a professional surfer, but like he could tone up. I don't know, that's just kind of what I was thinking. Then for Hud, so originally I pictured Hud to be blonde. I don't remember if he is, but I ended up casting only brunettes for all the siblings. So for Hud, I was thinking Cameron Gelman, who I know from Stargirl. So he might be a little young, I don't know. I feel like he gives me that like loner artsy vibe, like I'm a photographer. I'm the sibling that's like more in the behind the scenes, out of the spotlight kind of vibe. And I feel like he looks like a nice guy. Yeah. Then for Kit, I went with Danielle Rose Russell, who I know from Legacies, the Vampire Diaries spin-off. I just feel, you know, she's a young brunette girl. We know she can play a character with a lot of personality as Hope Michelson, so I feel like she's a perfect like look to go along with the rest of the casting and the rest of the family, but just have that more like younger energy. Then I thought about Heartstopper by Alice Oseman for a little bit. I feel like there was a lot more options I could have thought of, but one of the first ones I thought of for Alex was Jordan Elsas. So you might recognize him from Superman and Lois or the show Panic. He just has that blonde like teenage jock sort of look. That's the character I've seen him play, and I just feel like he could really do well with Alex playing that nice jock guy. Then in like a almost creepy turn, but while I was thinking of that same show, I thought that Alex Garfin could maybe be Charlie. So he plays Jordan's brother in a show, and now I'm picturing them as like love interests, so that's why I'm like, is that like creepy? But I just thought like both of them actually fit the characters. Jordan fits Alex being like jock, blonde, but then Alex fits, oh my gosh, their names and their characters are getting confused. Alex Garfin fits Charlie because he has that darker hair, and the character he plays more of that to himself, not as outgoing person that's always like crying all the time. So I just thought that he could do Charlie. But then another option I was thinking for Charlie, and he might be too old now, but was Miles Heiser from 13 Reasons Why. He played sort of a similar character to Charlie in a way, as he played like a gay character, learning about his sexuality. I guess Charlie kind of already has that figured out, but you know what I mean. And he's like kind of like a smaller guy, sort of like can play that like meek, like shyer kind of personality. So if he wasn't too old, I would maybe say him for Charlie. Okay, then let's move on to Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So for Selena, I was thinking Sadie Soverall. I know, another person from the Winx saga. I just kept her into that show for casting ideas, but I feel like she's obviously a very pretty girl, still relatively young. Like she could pull off playing like a 17-year-old or however old Selena is at the beginning, but as we saw in Winx, she can pull off being kind of like the mean girl, very tough, very like in charge, which is definitely Selena. So that's why I was thinking her. Then for Rowan, I was thinking Henry Cavill, which I mentioned in like a video before, but he just literally looks exactly like how I picture Rowan, which is like this ancient fairy warrior that I feel like he's supposed to have like that kind of like warrior long hair as well. I don't know, but that's just how I picture him. Then for Dorian, I was a little torn on this one, but I went with Brandon Flynn, also from 13 Reasons Why. But Dorian is the prince who ends up getting magic. I just think for a prince, you have to look like very like clean cut, a pretty boy kind of thing. That's how I picture for princes. And I feel like Brandon is like very cute, very like prince looking, I think. Maybe he's like a little young looking still, but yeah, that's what I was thinking. Then for Kale, the like head of the guard, obviously it has to be someone very tough. Someone I was thinking of was Evan Roderick from Netflix's show Spinning Out. Kind of a random pull, but I just feel like he could pull off it being very like serious, but also he's very like good looking still. Another person I was thinking was Jacob Elordi, because he's killing it right now. I feel like he does well playing the characters that are like very straight face. I mean, in Euphoria, he plays like literally a psychopath, like very cold, no emotion kind of thing. And so I feel like he could play like the head of the guard. He's really tall, so he could be like tough, you know what I mean? Kind of similar to the Aspen casting. I feel like both these characters are like a little bit similar, at least in like their job, so those castings could sort of fit for both of them. Then we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. The only person I casted in this was Pip, and for her I was thinking Willow Shields. I really can't remember what Pip looked like in terms of like her hair color or anything, but I just felt like a young actress that fit the vibe of Pip, just being like a little Nancy Drew, just trying to like solve the mystery and everything. I was thinking Willow Shields. Another one I was thinking of was Breck Bassinger, but I think she might be a little too pretty, like reminds you a little too much of like a popular girl and not as much of like your typical like smart girl. But in Stargirl, which I know her from, she doesn't really play up the like popular girl thing. She's more of like your everyday girl, so I think she could like tone that down and potentially be Pip as well. All right, I feel like I kind of rushed through this a little bit, but we're on the last one, and that is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. I decided to cast Bree as China Anne McClain. Again, she's from Black Lightning. I just feel like, you know, she's young, so she could still play like a young adult or teen, and I've seen her play like a very tough role again, as she does play a superhero in Black Lightning, so I feel like she could play Bree with all of her like toughness from what she's gone through and like her magic as well. I was also thinking potentially this actress called Sophia Bryant, but I feel like maybe she's too like nice looking, like too happy looking, but I'm sure she could maybe like channel more of like an angst to also be Bree. I feel like she looks maybe like a little younger, so that might be better. Then the only other person I casted was Selwyn, as he is my favorite character from the book, and I ship the two of them, Bree and Selwyn. But I was thinking Ryan Potter, and I feel really good about this casting. I'm pretty sure Selwyn is Asian, like for some reason that's in my head, and I looked up fan art and I feel like he is. You know, he has the dark hair and everything, and so I feel like Ryan really fits that. If you've seen him as a character in Titans, he does like play kind of like a magical, cool looking guy, which is what Selwyn is. Like, he's a Merlin, he has magic, so that is who I picture for him. So that's all my fan casting that I'm going to talk about today. Hopefully you guys thought that I chose good actors or actresses. Let me know if you have anyone that you would fan cast for any of these roles differently than me. I really did not look up any other people's casting ideas because I just wanted to go off of my own, so people probably have better ones than me. And then let me know if you want me to do more videos like this, because I have like tons more that I could do. And then of course subscribe if you want to see more bookish videos like this, or reading vlogs or reading wrap-ups and all that sort of stuff. Thanks so much if you watched till the end, and I hope you have a great rest of your summer. Until next time, bye!